And in that moment, I was like, oh my God, my life changed. I realized I had a mindset that isolated me, that assumed and created barriers between me and others for too many years. I was in a frequency of fear.
People can tune in with foresight, hindsight.
This is self-mastery, baby.
I think in hindsight,
They give you an hour. That's actually an honor.
My God, in hindsight?
I said, well, you know, me, I have to listen to the rest of them on the program.
And when I think about that in hindsight, that did calm me down.
You want to know something interesting? That everything starts in either one or two places, either the mind or the heart. And the mind and the heart is only like 40 centimeters apart on average. That's it. So how do we step from here to here, or go from here to here? I believe a powerful mindset is like equipping yourself with the best tools possible. And along this journey, I've learned a few habits and a mindset that has given me the ability to create true success for myself, you know, and develop a calm spirit. And today I want to tell you a little story, but first, let's get you some tea. So I found like a new loose leaf little tea shop in my neighborhood. It's been there for like years. I didn't even know. And they have the high grade. Look at that. Look how beautiful that looks. What you're seeing here is the cardamom, the cinnamon, the clove, the black pepper, the ginger, the coconut, the roasted coconut. The colors are immaculate. This is a black tea, and I'm gonna hook you up because this is the #1 chill spot on the internet. If this is your first time here, my name is HINDZ, and then today in hindsight, when we tune in, it's really just always a little vibe. You understand? We go deep. Sometimes we laugh. We have tea. You know, it's a safe space. It's a chill spot for you to come to whenever you feel like you just need to reset yourself, or, you know, just have a good vibe. Now, got the glass teapot. The frequency of this, once you get the hot water in there, is absolutely amazing. Everything. We're gonna let that sit for a second. Oh man, the flavors, the roastiness. You can really taste the roastiness, the smell. It's like the ancestors are in this cup. Guided and gifted. That is so good. That is so good. Don't worry, I got you too. I did say I was gonna get you a cup as well. This is yours right here. There you go. The #1 chill spot on the internet. Now, before we get into today's wisdom, I want to share something that's been keeping my energy high and flowing. You know, I'm all about intentional, successful, you know, and calm living. And our sponsor of the day, AG1, has been my morning go-to for about like 18 months now. Now, AG1 is more than just another supplement. It's foundational nutrition for your whole being, body, brain, and gut. Now, I know a lot of us probably have like a whole medicine cabinet full of different supplements and things like that. But what I like about AG1 is you can feel the power of one and save a good amount of money. Now, one pouch of AG1 can replace your multivitamins and minerals, your pre and probiotics, your green superfood, and then your stress adaptogens. And what about the immune support supplements as well? And cognitive support, that's a whole $225 a month versus the power of one, sitting at $79 a month. AG1 is the simplest, high quality solution. And it's super easy to use. One scoop into your water, shake it up. I'm not lying, it's very easy to drink. I like the taste as well. So let me hook you up because today we are talking about having a powerful mindset, and that does start with taking care of our vessels. So to get a 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 plus 5 individual travel packs for free with your first purchase, hit the link in my description. And trust me, you can add this to your morning routine. I have this every single morning with my cup of tea as well. That really is amazing. Now, we all know discipline, hard work, consistency is essential to creating the success that we want. And we hear people scream at us all the time, get consistent. But let's go a little bit deeper than that, because that's what I had to do and I continue to do. Because there was a time in my life where I was working really hard, but I was going in the wrong direction. And I realized sometimes it's not about speed, but it's about alignment, moving in the direction that matters. Now you may ask, how do we even know if we're moving in the right direction? And often people will say, just trust your gut. We often forget that we cloud those instincts as well. We have put ourselves in environments that simply do not support, our growth. And that's when I learned that it takes sacrifice to have a deeper relationship with ourselves. For an intentional, high life full of success, at times we may have to let go of some things. It may be some people, some habits, or simply ways of being. For me, it was the casual smoking, the casual drinking. Although I didn't do it in excess, it was still holding me back. I even decided to go celibate for like 3 years. And then it was the way I eat. I learned a new level of respect and discipline by being conscious of what I put into this vessel, what I put into this body. I used to just grow up eating a lot of like rice, meat, processed foods, whatever, and never even gaining an ounce of weight due to, my fast metabolism. So to my own ignorance, I just thought there was no problem with that lifestyle because I didn't see any physical negative effects. But I was like unaware of the effects energetically, but mentally. It takes sacrifice to have a deeper relationship with life. So I turned away from the processed foods, the sugars, the caffeine, not even caffeinated tea. And I dived heavier into the foods with colors, more raw foods, more herbs, things I wasn't used to. And the clouds within myself that were clouding my own instincts, they started to shift away. Through that consistency of showing up for myself and that devotion to being a healthier, stronger individual, my mind started to shift. Thoughts became more clear. And this is when I first found the intention of simply having a powerful morning. This is where actually my love for tea was born. For me, it was like a intentional practice each day, to give myself time to collect myself, not to rush, to think, to write. This gives us the ability again to move in the direction that matters, to sync our mind and our heart and make a real change. And all it does is start with a single step. And naturally the words just started to flow right through me. And I grabbed a journal and I wrote like every single day. I wrote down my thoughts, my dreams, my worries, my anxieties, the past, the future, and the things I was thankful for, what I had gratitude for. And I wrote these things down. I picked up a journal that I loved and wrote down these things no longer have control over me. And I started to find out my mistakes were opportunities for growth. Because whatever you are going through, my friend, you are growing through. Your mistakes and struggles are opportunities for growth. Nothing is happening to you, but happening for you. So what do? We take a moment and have gratitude for our current experiences. We observe, we breathe, and we simply remind ourselves that, we got this. That is a powerful mindset. Through these 2 simple practices of like reflecting and just slowing down in my morning to, have a cup of tea and to decompress, I started to feel something starting to happen within me. I started to feel like there's a new creation forming within. Before we change our external realities, before we change our mind, the work is done in here. You may be in a season where there's not a lot of things going on or tangible things you could show for your success. But let me remind you, some seasons, the growth goes inward, like the roots of a tree, preparing to blossom, cultivating all the inner treasures that you need to succeed. When you feel stagnant in the physical or material world, just remind yourself, a new creation is forming within me. When I was first going through these first initial changes in myself, people around me thought something was wrong. They thought I was going crazy. But sometimes we are simply moving ourselves from comfort to courage, and it's unfamiliar for ourselves and for those around us, right? But all we do is simply breathe through it. We become aware of our breath and we set that pace. For me, meditation was an intentional, transformational habit for myself. I first started with my ego. I was like, I'm going to meditate every day. I'm going to meditate for this long. But through meditation, it taught me to let go of all that, to stop trying to control things, to loosen my grip, allow things to be, simply, observe my own thoughts, my surroundings. I stopped setting these expectations and I just showed up for myself day in and day out. I allowed myself to just be who I truly am. And I realized that, if we want to grow, we may have to let go of patterns and beliefs that no longer serve us. We may have to clip our wings so a new set of wings can grow. I call this the power of the pivot. Power of the pivot. I am so good at pivoting. The only thing that is constant in life, my friend, is change. Throughout my life, I've never been afraid to make that change, to make that pivot. I don't know why. I'll go in a whole other direction or look and see how society is moving or how technology is changing and recognize I need to level up my craft. I need to expand my knowledge, my horizon. I went from making sounds to then producing visuals to like going in many different industries within that, then to getting on camera myself, now pivoting into other areas with my craft. And just again, that power of the pivot, recognizing that you have all the tools that you need to succeed in this current moment. And as we live in a world that is changing so fast, being able to pivot will be one of your greatest assets, one of your greatest gifts. I remember when I completely stopped making music videos. I was in LA, I was doing my traveling, I was doing my touring, and I said no more, out of nowhere, because I felt I had to pivot. And I went into this valley of despair. And sometimes when we pivot, we don't pivot into something better right away. No. We pivot kind of into darkness because it's an unpaved road. Nobody has paved that road before. And in this space is where we cultivate our true gifts, our strength, our resilience, our grace, our spirit. I used to put all my value in how good I could be in making a video or something like that. And I still love that. But the mind shift that changed my life was truly realizing that my credentials are in my spirit. It's not always in the awards or whatever we put in our Instagram bio. When we think of intentional, successful living, it means defining our own version of success with intention from our heart and our mind sync together. And if you're always in a constant chase for validation, you'll always be running, my friend. Don't chase, receive. Validation is only far if you set it apart from yourself. Instead, where can we go for that validation? Through our intentional living, through reflection, through our meditation, we are equipped to go within ourselves, you understand? Discover more of ourselves. And I believe that understanding on a deeper level, it allows us to step back out into this world. And we are no longer chasing purpose because we recognize that our presence has purpose. One of the most common questions in life is, what is my purpose? And we can be so hung up on this question. But I realized at a time in my life, when I truly learned to love the simple things within my day, like have true joy just for like my breath, for my cup of tea, being present, going outside for a walk. Of course I love traveling. Of course I love music festivals. Of course I love the extravagant stuff. But I realized it wasn't about always standing on top of a mountain all the time, but there was joy all around us and within us. It wasn't even about having deep passion and motivation every single day, but every moment and step along this journey actually holds purpose, because our presence on this planet, my friend, has purpose. And with our intention, we place meaning into life. Quick story, because I know you're almost done that tea and you gotta go. I used to walk around with this chip on my shoulder because of some of the unfortunate experiences I had in the past. Some of them were like racist experiences. And one time I was shopping, right? And this little old lady, she was staring at me with this like weird look. And I assumed she thought I was like stealing, because I've actually been in a situation like that before, being followed or falsely accused. So I got triggered in this moment and I got frustrated, right? Like, why is she staring at me? Oh, she's probably racist. I'm just getting burned up inside, getting real annoyed. And then she walked up to me out of nowhere and was like, "Sir, I think you're so beautiful." And in that moment, I was like, oh my God, my life changed. I realized I had a mindset that isolated me, that assumed and created barriers between me and others for too many years. I was in a frequency of fear. I took my heart and my mind, which are like 40 centimeters away, and I synced them together. And I vowed to lead with love. Because when we lead with love, what do? We leave with love on this journey to a more intentional, higher living. The way we show up for ourselves or talk to ourselves should be rooted in love. Some of us beat ourselves up way too much. It's because you have potential. But that same love we end up showing ourselves is the love we show the world. When we lead with love, we lead with love in all that we do. With our forgiveness, our compassion, our grace, our strength, our empathy. This is actually our superpower. When you lead with love, no matter what happens, no matter what they did to you, you can still leave with love. You leave with your power, with your heart raised, with your mind clear. And you don't know in hindsight, everything is going to be all right. Thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for having a cup of tea with me. And I wanted to go deeper beyond the mindset here, really within our foundation, because that's where we can evolve and strengthen our mind and our heart, so we have a clear path moving forward in the direction that matters. Please leave a comment below. Let's chat, hang out. I'll see you on the next one.